Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Let's Talk Assassin's Creed, your number one podcast for all things Assassin's Creed. Merry Christmas. That's pretty much what I'm going to say right off the bat. This is the greatest Christmas special I could have come up with. That technically was given the idea by a friend. So big shout out to whoever gave me the idea. I've had a lot of people talk to. I'm sorry I can't grab your name, but this show was inspired by you. And in the show, we're doing a Secret Santa of sorts. So, out of the lore purposes, we're going to imagine that all the assassins are in one room. We're including Shay Cormac because you can't leave the poor boy out. But all the assassins are in one room, and what would they get each other for Christmas? Now, it wouldn't really be a festive episode if I didn't bring a friend along to have a bit of a laugh. Now, this friend has appeared before. He came back with the promise of cookies. I promise Santa's delivering them when possible. And I am joined by Jarrett from the Bleeding Effect podcast.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
And I promise you'll get your cookies that I bribed you to go on the show with. This is how I get guests, people. I bribe them with cookies.
Not good ones, just
You need
cookies, yeah.
If you need cookies, you come to me.
I'll eat anything.
Ooh, I like food. Christmas is all about food. Maybe some of the assassins we talk about today have food. I think it's going to take me a long time reading every name out. So I'm going to give a massive shout out to everybody in the Assassin's Creed Sisterhood server that has messaged me with some quirky ideas for Christmas. One of them is quite dark, but I can't help but laugh. And that's from White Wolf on Twitter. And fellow podcaster Louise, who runs the Rookery Archive, has given us an idea as well. So, all shout outs to them. So, shall we begin?
Ready.
Which assassin do you think we should look at first?
Oh, I wasn't prepared. Okay. Bayek.
Okay. What would an assassin Bayek for Christmas? I think Cassandra would probably give Bayek some simple bird feed just for his pet eagle.
Aww.
They could bond over the eagle. Like, oh look, I got an eagle, you got an eagle, let's bond.
Yeah.
It's very heartwarming.
And then Icaros will get jealous, no, that's my bird feed, how dare you.
They'll have a little bird squabble in the corner,
Yeah.
and Cassandra and Bayek are just like, hey, Merry Christmas, thank you for the bird seed.
As if this isn't growing everywhere.
All over the floor. Maybe someone needs to give them a brush. So, what would you think Ezio would get for Christmas?
Who's getting Ezio something for Christmas? Do we need a contributor, or just what would someone?
You can pick the contributor.
Oh. That's fun. Okay. Well, I guess we could go with Aguilar because apparently they did meet. Didn't they meet at some point? Aguilar met Ezio?
It is rumored, yes, through Discovery, which was the DS spin-off.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Aguilar, it would be funny because Aguilar comes from Spain during the time of the Spanish Inquisition, so it's he would get him something that he would think would be a very effective assassination tool, and it would be something just kind of sadistic and torturous, and Ezio would be like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? He would get him a Pope's pear or something, and be like, what is this? And you stick it up your enemy's butthole, and you open it until they scream, and he's like, why would I need this? This does not help. He would just be totally turned off, and then Aguilar would be kind of offended, whoa, okay, calm down. I guess I might have overstepped there, but come on, who doesn't want one of these? I think you've just been. I think you need to take a vacation from Spain. I think you've been. I think. I think. I think it's not good for your sanity, and I think you just need to like step out and take a look. Take, what do they call it? Take a step back and take a look at like where you've been standing this whole time. You're like, okay, it is a bit depressing here.
I'm just now concerned. We see Alclair in the movie. He seems a proper down-to-earth assassin, and secretly he's just torturing the Spanish enemy Templars. He just thinks it's a normal day-to-day basis. Like, we need this artifact. We'll torture Mr. Templar, and he's just like, what, why don't you take it? We've got this far in the Spanish Brotherhood. Why can't you do it? I'd be terrified. That's definitely one Christmas present I would not want to receive.
No, like, where's it been at? No. No. Send it back.
Oh, crikey. I was thinking, for our poor little friend Shay, I was thinking all the assassins except one would buddy in and just give him a crate of coal. They're so sick of his antics, like, you can have coal, you don't belong here. But I think Connor would feel very sympathetic since his dad was turned Templar. Probably give him some, like, maybe a teddy. Like, cuddle it. Or maybe a dummy for stress relief. You need it. Take your stress out. All the assassins are not happy.
Yeah, that's nice. I don't know how long that friendship would last, because it's like, what was it? Because all the jokes, the memes about like, what was it? I feel like there was like a Father's Day card with Haytham and Connor on it, and it was just kind of like Happy Father's Day or something, and I was just like, it was right after the game came out. I was like, oh, that's dark, like. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know how long the friendship between Shay and Connor would last. He'd come up, be very sympathetic, and he's like, thanks. He's like, I like you, Connor. It's like, I always used to like your father. Your father and I would do this, and he's such a great guy. And then just Connor would get increasingly pissed off, like, okay, if you're gonna keep talking about my dad, I'm gonna go. Like, okay.
It's like, no, I don't want to know about my dad.
Right.
Or maybe it just turn into like a Charles Lee moment where he's just chasing after Shay to learn more about his dad's antics, just running down the hall and Shay, where's Shay? Shay, where's Shay? Oh, okay, who's up next for Secret Santa?
Does it have to be an assassin?
We'll deviate. There's a lot of characters. We'll deviate.
Okay. Because I don't know why, but Elise de la Serra popped in my mind.
Ooh, what would an assassin or character get, Elise?
Okay, so for Elise, I said for Elise. That's funny. For Elise, I feel like, so we're not sticking with like they had to be living around the same time. I did that for the first one, but let's go off. Let's go, I don't know, Maria Thorpe from AC1, and she would get Elise. See, prenatal vitamins didn't exist at this point, and she didn't get pregnant, so she can't really give her any. But it's like, it'd be so funny because they're so far removed from each other that it's like there's basically one person can't relate to the other person's needs and everything. They were different times. Like one was harsher and like during the Crusades and everything. And anyways, I don't know. I feel like Maria would probably get Elise some more modest Christian, like appropriate Crusader clothing and everything. She'd be like, this is what she's like. Oh, she'd give her old hand-me-down uniforms from Templar, for her days being a Templar, and then she left Templar. She's like, I'm not a Templar anymore. You need these more than I do. And of course, they wouldn't be washed. They would be not form fitting because she's not allowed to wear anything. I find it funny because the first thing Maria Thorpe does when she sees Elise Delastair is going to disapprove of her wardrobe entirely. Just it's so scandalous and so gaudy and so what's the word so shamefully exposed and everything. She's just going to tell her to cover it up, and she's going to give her old Templar, like, this is how a Templar should really dress. And of course she's going to get the dirty old hand-me-downs from Maria Thorpe and try to begrudgingly thank her for them, just to be respectful, to your elders, but at the same time she's like, these are gross and I don't know how she wore these, and I'm just gonna smile and until the party's over, and then I'm gonna stick them straight into the furnace. And not even keep them in the museum or anything, just burn them.
To be honest, when I think of Maria Thorpe giving Elise anything for Christmas, I think it'll just be a bit of advice. Don't stand near an assassin, because dating an assassin for Maria got her killed, and falling in love with Arno got Elise killed. So maybe some advice is stay away from the assassins, you're gonna get yourself killed.
And she's like, nothing I haven't heard before. Dead a week later. You know how, I was gonna say, it's like telling a teenage girl she can't date this boy, he's dangerous. You don't know what you're talking about. We're in love. Dead a week later.
So, well, we did warn you. Something a bit cheerier, because it seems like for Christmas people are not very happy.
Ooh, can I add something onto that and saying that after the fact, it's because I don't know if they're doing a Secret Santa in the afterlife because they're all dead at some point, but it's in the afterlife, Maria Thorpe just kind of knits her a little blanket or something nice, and everything, and embroidered on it says, I told you so, and then she just gets so red in the face.
I would love that.
That was underhanded, Maria. Why did you do that? We were all thinking
I think the next perfect gift, which I would love to see, and I've seen so many memes, is Ezio. He's gonna be the giver, handing Altair some water wings and swimming lessons.
Ooh.
Just taking him to a river in Venice and just teaching him how to swim. Just throwing him in and say, I'm gonna drown. Nope, you got water wings, we'll teach you to swim.
Okay. And let's not forget that before this happens, there's a suggestion that Altair needs to learn how to swim. Altair being completely offended by the insinuation that he doesn't know how to swim, pretends like he knows how to swim, tries to play it off. They get him to confess he can't swim by shoving him into the water or something. Then there's the part where they have to disrobe him of his robe, which will require them to either sedate him heavily, risking their lives, trying to tackle him to the ground to get him to take it off, and then put the floaties on him, and then him timidly trying to doggy paddle in the water, just thrashing about, panicking. This is a whole scene. This is a dark day in assassin history.
Just all the assassins are just happily swimming along, Bayek, Cassandra, all of them can do it. Altair's just the odd one out, just I don't know how to swim. Merry Christmas, here's some floaties and a swimming lesson.
So,
put it to good use.
Yeah, just the burn, just the sheer jealousy that Altair is gonna feel when he sees Alexios and Bayek fucking sun tanning on the beach, catching all this surfer chicks, two surfer dudes up there, and then none of the girls are looking at him because he's covered in floaties. It's like, who is that?
Merry Christmas from Assassin's Creed. I think I would laugh a lot if that happened, I will admit. So, who's next on the table of It's Christmas time?
Hmm.
I'm not gonna sing, I promise people.
Oh, you can sing. I don't care.
I can't sing, that's why I'm not.
You have to get properly drunk or smashed before you start singing. Or if you're like my coworker, you just start, randomly shouting Christmas carols in the middle of the day. And people think there's something wrong with you. It's like you don't even have to be like lit or turned, as they say. Just happy as the holidays.
I think if we're going to talk about anyone that's going to be happy or smash singing, we'll have to look at Edward. Just sat with a bottle of rum, belting out some Christmas tunes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So, is Edward next?
It's your call. I was just dropping
okay.
Edward in there because he likes to drink. He's a pirate.
I think that's the perfect way to go. Should he be the gifter or the receiver? I feel like pirates give the best gifts at any time. So I feel like Edward would give something to somebody, but I don't know who he could give something to. I'm trying to think. Like
some shiny new weapons to Jacob, because Jacob seems to love getting weapons at Christmas.
Oh yeah, yeah. That would be funny and ironic that he would give him something, because he'd just be like, "Okay, these, thank you. I stole them from your mansion last week, but then I put them back because I felt bad. But now you're giving them back to me, so thank you."
The perfect Christmas. It's like a rewrapped Christmas gift. Little does he realize he stole them, found flintlock pistols from the pirate age useless, so he put them back.
He's like, "So I gave you these state-of-the-art, like, my most precious flintlock pistols that I've ever owned for Christmas, and you, to thank me for this, broke into my house last week and forced me to pay the glazier, like the window maker, the glazier, like 150 quid or something. Like that, like no good deed goes unpunished kind of thing." Like, "You're something else." And then he'd kind of like, he'd be pissed off for a while, and then he'd be like, "That rascal, he's like, he's like another son to me. It's like he's a chip off the old block. Like he might as well be my son." And it would kind of like put this wedge between him and Hatham. He's the son that Jacob's the son that I hoped for, and I got Hatham. So.
Oh, crikey! And to be perfectly honest, I've been reading the Black Flag book, and Edward was a really good street fist fighter in the bar fights. Jacob seems to be a good street fighter in London, so maybe they got some father, not so son boxing matches.
Oh yeah, they'd totally be like tearing it up every night, like betting on like fisticuff matches, underground rings, and everything. They'd be like out all night, come home smashed, and just like Hatham and Evie are just kind of sitting there, like, or Evie's trying to like, have polite conversation with Hatham. Hatham's just brooding the whole time. like, "I don't have time. Let me know when my dad gets home." Or tell him when he gets home. It's like, something. She's like, "Okay."
This is just the best Christmas.
"Merry Christmas to you, Hatham." It's just humbug.
I genuinely think this would be an awesome Christmas if this all played out. Just a big table, Edward and Jacob, one end getting smashed and rowdy, and everyone's just the other end trying to teach Altair how to swim. Just taking a bit of a jolly around the Caribbean, that'll teach Altair to swim.
with all the sharks and everything. Jesus. They're so drunk they
Well,
forgot. Oops. Comes back like
you'd
missing a
sink or
leg.
swim. This is a bit of a manic Christmas special.
Right.
Oh, I think the last one we could end on from me, and then you can do one last one.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Evie would probably receive. I forgot her name. Ezio's wife, Sophia. I think Sophia
Mm-hmm.
would give Evie keys to a library, because in Revelation, Sophia does run a library, and we know that. Oh god, my voice is gone. And we know that Evie really seems to like books, so maybe it'd be a nice little humble gift. Keys to a library that should probably never leave.
Oh, okay. So Sophia, Ezio's wife, would give Evie Fry a key to the library, to her personal library in
Yeah,
in Istanbul.
yeah.
Oh,
Nice
that's
little
cool.
sunny holiday in Istanbul.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure she doesn't find all the hidden information about Isu or something, because that could go terribly wrong.
Mm-hmm. Well, I assume that it would be like a couples retreat with Evie and Henry Green going there to the library. But like you said, it's
I could see that.
yeah. Sorry.
I was just saying I could see that, and I was just agreeing. I think it'd be a good little couples vacation for them both.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Could you imagine Henry Green being taught the hook blade though?
Taught the hook blade.
Yeah, he's just like wandering around looking at the sights, and the assassin just pull him over and just try and teach him the hook blade while he's just
Mm-hmm.
looking on like he won't get it right. He
Mm.
won't do it.
That I'm surprised that Ezio, as old as he was, got that. Did he get it on the first? He did. And with me playing through that the first time, I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do. I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do? And then he uses the hook blade and he flips somebody over. And I was just like, that just seems kind of complicated for no reason.
Exactly.
But it makes a great
Henry's
zip line hook thing, I guess.
Make a good way of getting around London.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Evie could just fire off a zip line, and Henry's got the little hook blade to get across.
Mm-hmm. Oh god, I feel like it'd be cool if they brought Alexander Graham Bell with him, and he would just be fascinated by it, and everything. And he would just try to electrify everything to where it's like insanely dangerous, and then they don't want to use it anymore.
But did a hook blade electrified?
Mm,
Jesus,
yeah,
it's a recipe for disaster.
he would just be
Accidentally
so
hooked someone's leg.
I know he would be so pleased with what he made, and then they would have to convince him to not to publish it or whatever, not to patent it. It was like, think about it. Casualties.
A harmless hook blade, now a dangerous weapon. I wouldn't want to go near that if it was electrified.
Mhm.
So, what would be your last combination for a Secret Santa?
Okay. I know I'm gonna pick because I still think I would say my favorite assassin fluctuates from time to time, but I've always had really I've always really liked Xiao Jun. I think Xiao Jun is awesome. She's got some awesome tools and techniques and everything. Xiao Jun would be a good gift giver, and she would give something to. Trying to think through all the games, like Aveline, and I
I could see
think
that.
to Aveline because Aveline already has the rope dart. Either she would give her fighting lessons or she give her like the sword that she uses. I think it's a type of Dao, like a type of Chinese. I don't know if Xiao Jun's sword is a Dao or not, but it's whatever kind of Chinese sword that she used. She would gift that to Aveline, and I think that would be really cool, especially because most of Aveline's tools and weapons are makeshift from whatever she could gather. And I feel like they would also. I didn't think about this until too late, but it's like since it's Secret Santa, the person who's receiving the gift would also give something back in return to whoever they received that from. So yeah, Xiao Jun would give Aveline like an antique Chinese sword, and Aveline would give her like a makeshift tool that she made, like one of her tomahawks or her. No, she used a machete. I mean, she'd give her like the machete or something, or like one of her ceremonial voodoo daggers or something. It'd be really awesome. They could
That would
like,
be
yeah,
cool.
they could bolster each other's arsenals like really well. I think that would be awesome.
Could you imagine if Aveline was able to use Xiao Jun's Hidden Blade boot? That would be cool.
Yeah. Um, was it? I found it funny that they put that in the game because the first time I ever saw that particular weapon was in that movie with Will Smith called The Wild Wild West. And if you've seen it, Kevin Kline is like this inventor. They're both like in. It's supposed to be like an old. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a kind of steampunk adaptation of an old western kind of thing, like because it came out a few years after Men in Black, I think. And anyway, uh, what is Will Smith plays a U.S. Marshal. He's on the hunt for the guy named Loveless, and everything. But Loveless got all these goons, and he has this plan. Loveless is pretty much a Templar. Like if we're talking Assassin's Creed, Loveless is a Templar in the United States, with the huge machine factories, and everything that chug out these gigantic mechanical spider uh, Land Rover things. I don't know how to describe it. Picture a giant like building the size of like a mini Eiffel Tower, I guess, but it's shaped like a spider. Like it's all those scaffolding things are built into spider legs, and then it just kind of stomps around the desert. That's like the big thing they invent for the end of the movie. But but yeah, back to the shoe blade thing. He Will Smith's character is the marshal, and Kevin Kline's character is like a secret spy slash inventor, and he invents all these different tools and for assassination, for spy work, and everything. A lot of them are like really goofy. They have like at one point they have this projector that's supposed to place a severed person's head into it and kind of work it like one of those old school projectors so that it projects out their eyeballs and you can see whatever the last thing they saw before they died uh, is projected on the screen like a photograph. And Will Smith just kind of keeps looking at him the whole time, like that is a man's head. Like I don't care how cool you think this invention is, that is disgusting. And and then oh yeah, but with the whole boot thing, it's like he just kind of sits down. Wait, he got passed out on some kind of smoke bomb or something, and then wakes up later on, and he's fully dressed, and he's just kind of sits down, relaxes in a chair, and stomps his foot on the ground, and then a blade, like a 3-inch blade, shoots out of the toe of his cowboy boot. And he's like, "What the hell?" He's like, "Oh yes, I took the liberty of outfitting your wardrobe with some added effects." And he's like, "Don't take any more liberties with my things." And it's like, yeah, because if you didn't know that was there, that would be kind of lethal. It's like, what else is gonna pop out of my clothes when I sit down? I think he gave him like a little retractable hand pistol thing, kind of like Ezio's. So, not saying they gave Ubisoft any ideas, but it was funny because both of those things I saw in this movie before they were introduced into this series. So I'm wondering if maybe they're low key like fans of this movie or something.
I think that would be funny as hell, to be honest. It's like, oh, I like that idea.
Oh my god!
Let's add it to Assassin's Creed.
I wonder, like, if
But
Aveline was like, if she was Will Smith's character's ancestor, because
that would have been cool.
yeah, like it's like about 100 years removed, so she'd be like his grandmother or something. But I have to rewatch that movie now.
I was just thinking now, like, could you imagine just Aveline in one of those little posh dresses she wears as one of her disguises,
Hmm.
just sneaking up to a temple and just kicking them with a hidden blade shoe? I think that would be so cool.
That would. It just made me think too, like, but Xiaojun's from China, not Japan, but it's like the because I kept thinking like to when he said umbrella, my mind flashed to Soul Calibur, where you have a character who has a hidden blade in her umbrella, and I was like, if like Xiaojun could give her one of those like bamboo umbrellas with like the blade that comes out of it, kind of like Eevee's cane sword thing, but an umbrella, I think that would be like awesome.
That would. I mean, when I was going to a track where Evelyn could become the most dangerous assassin because she can just kit all her disguises out with different weapons.
Yeah, you combine like her arsenal with Xiaojun's, and they would be pretty much unstoppable. They'd be like the Doom Squad, just going in on Templars like on a weekly basis. Like they're
That sounds
coming, you
amazing.
better run.
Run! No, we're off. Right, sadly, that's all we have time for tonight. But have no fear, I am back with another episode on the 21st and the 26th because no rest for the wicked. I like that song.
Mhm.
So thank you for joining us, Jarrett. Are you looking forward to Christmas?
I am. I'm excited. I like the holidays. I get really hyped up about like Krampusnacht. Like I was telling you before, I collect all of the Krampus collectibles and everything. So it's fun decorating things out in like little kind of Christmassy demony things all around the house. Just kind of like hiding there in like a little thicket of uh, what was I gonna say? The holly branches or something. Yeah, little pine needles or whatever, like poking out from behind the tree. Like there's Krampus. It's just stealthing in the tree.
That sounds epic.
Yeah.
So thank you so for tuning in to this Christmas special. Quick one. If you haven't checked it out by now, truly recommend you go log into Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The Yule Festival is live. Not gonna take too much of your time. It's not like this big thing, but there's some really cool side activities you can do. Some really cool armor sets you can get it. Some really cool weapons you can get from. And the activities are fun as hell. There's a drunk brawl, whereas every time you win a round, you get more drunk. I can't get past round 7 because you get put against a huge armored Goliath while you're semi-hammered. Ava can't really punch when she's semi-hammered because you lose that focus. So it gets tricky, but it's a really good event. I'll highly recommend checking it out. And that's all for me today. And I hope you have a fantastic Christmas holidays with all your friends and family. And sending my love.
All right. Thank you, and you guys as well, and you too, Declan.
You too, buddy.
Thanks.